I'm of the opinion that Puyo Puyo might just be the most perfect computer game to ever exist, and I say this as someone who has never gotten addicted to it, or ever been very good at it, as this video will probably show. As you all know, Puyo Puyo is a household name by now. Literally everyone knows what it is. You build up chain reactions of different colored Puyos, and eventually the garbage you generate overwhelms the opponent. Puyos burst when 4 of the same color touch, and come down in pairs to be placed on the board. I'm playing Puyo Puyo Tetris, one of the more recent experimental versions of the game, but the classic gameplay is still absolutely available. Puyo Puyo has a lot of aesthetic flavor to it, but its gameplay is actually quite universal. Literally, players need only to understand the different colors of the light spectrum to play the game, and with modern iterations, colorblind options exist. You could literally resurrect the corpse of Ted Bundy, and he would understand the game in seconds. Puny mortal games like Tetris took a few iterations to reach their current formula for the game's mechanics, adding things like block previews and hold slots across several entries. But Puyo Puyo is Ultimate Man Game, and got it right in the first entry back in 1992. Even the selection of colors has stayed the same, because fewer colors would make setting up chains more difficult, and make matching Puyos far too easy. A greater color count, on the other hand, would make finishing chains much more luck dependent. After all, Puyo Puyo is innately difficult since the increase in speed and inevitable failure always pushes the player to a point where they feel challenged, no matter what. Lastly, Puyo Puyo is necessarily a video game. You ever try to recreate Puyo Puyo in real life? It's expensive and messy, and the jello doesn't destroy itself when touching light-colored blobs, and they don't sell gray jello, so you can't even make garbage blocks. You can use aspic, but then you're mixing aspic and jello. Try as I might, I couldn't substitute carbuncle. Panel de Pon might just be the most perfect computer game to ever exist, and I say this as someone who has never gotten addicted to it, or ever been very good at it, as this video will probably show. Panel de Pon is a bit of an underground game, you see, made by a little-known studio called Nintendo. It has a cult following, and within it, fans recognize the pure genius of this game, but few have talked about why it works. For those unaware, in this game, panels scroll up from the bottom of the screen. You can swap horizontally aligned panels to form and set up chain reactions of light-colored panels forming horizontal or vertical lines. Doing this well creates garbage blocks on top of the opponent's screen, until one of you becomes overwhelmed by the panels and loses. The version of the game I'm playing is yeah, that one. The mechanics of this game are very simple and universal. Literally, you could give this game to a frog in circa 2045 power armor, and even it would be able to play this game in seconds. And that increase in accessibility doesn't come at any cost. After all, Panel de Pon is innately difficult anyway, since the game increases in speed, and inevitably, you're going to lose. So it always pushes you to a point where you feel challenged, no matter what. Lastly, Panel de Pon is necessarily a video game. It's very hard to keep the panels vertically stacked or to restrict the player's ability to movement. I mean, fucking thing's stupid. I'm of the opinion that Peace Out from Mario Party DS might just be the most perfect computer game to ever exist. Now, Peace Out is often considered one of the greatest games of all time. Or at least, like, one of the only good video games in Mario Party 5. Looking at you, quit for speed, you friggin'... I am willing to put money, but not too much money, on the fact that you probably haven't thought about why this game is the second coming of... As everyone knows, Peace Out from Mario Party DS is a game where you have a claw and a conveyor belt. Pieces of varying sizes and shapes known as pieces come rolling down this thing, and you gotta sort them all nice like that one episode of Drake and Josh, or that thing it's parodying. I don't know, I'm like 21. You get more points the more of the same colors grouped up when the box is full. You also have this little trash compactor for when you've made poor life choices. As you can see, I am playing the DS port of Peace Out from Mario Party DS, because in Mario Party 5 it's a dual minigame that ends after 60 seconds or something like that, I don't know. I like 6 better, but in the Endless DS version, it keeps complexifying and adding stuff like weirder pieces and pieces that change shape and making the big blocky ones less common. This is game design. I don't need to explain that to you, because you're smart. But for all the idiots, take some notes. Being idiots is pretty irrelevant, because guess what? This game's so simple and understandable that George Lucas could play it.
They were your kids,
Yeah,
and you sold them.
I sold them to the white slavers that...
And like, peace out, right? Perfect game, masterful game. God's gift to the heathens below. The one saving grace of the hellish existence that we are cursed to on a minute-to-minute basis. This game is nirvana. We cannot go higher. This game cannot be elaborated on, and Nintendo knows this, as since its appearance on the DS, it has never been seen again. They know that any attempt to remake or reform it in any way is blasphemous to the deity that bestowed this treasure upon us. Every single game piece is breathtaking, simple, yet effective. I can hardly pick a favorite. And those colors, simply gorgeous, unfit to exist in the same plane as Peace Out from Mario Party DS, let alone speak its name. But adding more pieces wouldn't meaningfully add to the difficulty anyway. After all, Peace Out from Mario Party DS is innately difficult, since the increase in complexity and inevitable failure always pushes the player to a point where they feel challenged, no matter what. Also, I tried to recreate this one in real life too. I went to a grocery store and started playing around with an empty lane, but I was promptly told to leave. So in theory it might be possible, but only if you work at a Smith's or something. That about covers most of my main points. So to recap, Puyo Puyo has a reason to exist as a computer game, instead of anything else. Panel de Pon uses a perfect set of components, the panels, of which to build its gameplay. The core gameplay mechanics of Peace Out are so tightly structured that they can't be removed or altered without destroying the game. The appeal of pac-attack is universal, and not bogged down in any kind of specific story or culture. Finally, a player is guaranteed to be challenged by Tetris every time, since they're guaranteed to eventually lose.